for us. Right?
Okay, we're doing military mortgage boot camp hangout with Jason, and we pulled him on to do this hangout today because the amount of applications that he's getting, the amount of referrals he's getting is through the roof. And he hasn't necessarily been doing CE classes, and we just wanted to talk a little bit about what he's been doing to get all these applications and referrals. Make sense, Jason?
Yep, that's awesome.
What's up, Stier?
Hey, buddy. You look good.
So this is kind of like
you look hot yourself, baby. What is that OU in the background? I think from Texas.
No, hell no.
So this is the official marketing hangout. These two are going to screw around a little bit, and I'm going to get right to work. So Marketing, what are you doing, dude? What's getting you all these applications?
It's been the classes, teaching them, the lunch and learn portion of the class, and it's kind of a condensed version of the CE. But it's what I have found for me is that, it's about an hour. We keep it to about an hour and a half total with discussions and questions and creating some engagement. And it's just enough information to, create engagement after the class. And so I've had agents that I've taught classes to weeks ago that have been reaching out to me, email, text, when they come across specific questions that we've given them the information from you guys at the PowerPoint that they just want to follow up on.
All right, let me stop you right there and say what you just said, that you have agents from past classes contact you. Now, you've only been teaching for a short period of time.
Just a few months.
So just in a few months, would you say you at least get one realtor a week from a previous class to call?
At least. At least that. And I actually got yesterday, I had an owner here locally that sent me 2 agents that worked for a different company that were both military spouses that were agents, because he knew that I dealt with military and he referred them to me. So even just that circle, it's created just a domino effect.
Well, and the reason I bring that up is because I always talk about, I don't originate loans anymore at all. And I literally have several agents that contact me, probably 1 to 5 a week from previous classes, just Michigan agents, not to mention ones that I come in contact with all across the country. And so I get about 1 to 5 referrals for that, just because I've had 1,500 agents here in Michigan go through my course. So if you want people to call you and give you referrals that you don't necessarily even talk to or market to or anything to on a weekly basis, you got to start teaching class.
Yeah. And what I've positioned it as is not necessarily from the perspective of a loan officer, but being an advocate. And so even if it's not my deal and they have questions or they don't feel like they're getting a straight answer from somebody else, I encourage them to reach out to me and we'll find the answer if I don't know it.
Right.
And what that's done is created, I'm an advisor now, so I've created that trust without trying to take from them.
You know what you are? You're the specialist. They call you because why? You were the teacher. You had the answer. You had the knowledge. The students will always call their teacher, period. That's who they go for the source of knowledge. I even do that myself. When I can't figure it out, because I don't try to waste his time, but because I value his time so much. But if I can't figure it out, I call Mark Jameson, who will be speaking at our event. That's my mentor, my teacher. That's the master. Right. So they view you as the master. But even Bruce Lee had a master, right? So there's always another level of somebody who's better. And I think, but the more and more you teach, you start to get that street cred. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I paid attention to, I looked at the live stuff that you did like with GP last week.
Yeah. And
so I watched those and honing my craft, so to speak.
All right, your trade. I call it a trade. It is a trade.
Right. To create more engagement while I'm teaching. It's not some talking head up there just, spitting stuff out. So, paying attention to others when they do that is how you learn, how I learn the best. So, and it's created an environment to where hopefully I can, I've created, my own Facebook page for all these people to come to one place and you can, you keep them right in front of you.
Right. So the other thing I'll tell you, now that you're an experienced instructor, you're out there teaching class, just because there's no CE in Texas, has that stopped you or kept you from making money?
No, absolutely not. I've got 3 lined up for June here in Texas. I've got 2 lined up in Oklahoma.
How many purchases do you have going right now? Like live for next month?
VA.
I have 7 total, and 5 of them are VA.
That's awesome sauce, man.
That's good stuff, man.
And I got to ask you. So, would you think, honestly speaking, do you think that those 5 would have been there without this type of training?
Absolutely not. No, because it's given me a direction in more than one way, but with business, it's given me a direction with, I know there's a lot of white noise we have out there in our business.
Yeah.
This has given me a focus and, got my creative mind going about how I can create engagement with the stuff that we teach.
And I want to ask you this because I want you to honestly answer this and so that other LOs are not afraid to do what I did, because what I did is what I think you're about to start doing in your career and saying, maybe I'm wrong, fuck conventional, fuck FHA. I'm just going to do one thing. I'm going to do it better.
He always does this so that I can't actually use these for like advertising because my account keeps getting shut off. Because we have so many swear words in all of our videos.
I apologize for that. Screw VA, screw FHA. I'm going to do one. I decided I was tired of being a jack of all trades, master of none. I was going to work towards being a master of my trade, or like a journeyman carpenter. I was going to carry that type of hard, do it better than anybody else. What do you think?
That's 100% accurate. I'm at a point now where if I get a renovation loan, or I give it to somebody else.
But let me ask you this. How about trying to, compete with another lender over a cookie cutter conventional loan? How awesome does that make you feel on a regular basis?
They either do business with me because they like me, or I cut them loose.
There you go. And that's where everybody wants to be. And I know it's hard to kind of move yourself from a checkerboard to a chessboard. Mm-hmm. It does take a little bit of faith, right? It does.
I went backwards a few steps.
When 5 or 6 people tell you you're crazy, you're like, whatever. When 67 tell you you're crazy, you think you might be a little crazy. But listen, you have that. In about 1 year, my business tripled because I was the only one on the street not asking real estate agents for conventional and FHA. And all I was doing was branding myself as the VA guy, which is what you're doing in your area. And I love it. So as an instructor, I think you're ready to start, spicing up your class a bit. Now that you have the content down, now you see some things I do is involve the realtors, like making them do math problems,
right?
Really teaching them. I've had a couple instructors, so I'm going to call GP Terrio out for a minute here. He initially was like, man, I don't think the realtors want to deal with all that Mickey Mouse stuff. And I beg to differ. Now, remember, it could have been maybe the math and other things like that don't, a few select realtors might not care about that. But when you really put into facts, realtors, especially younger realtors, the millennial realtors, eat it up because they're the most educated generation that's out there. They're the largest generation. They've surpassed baby boomers, but they're also the officially most educated. More millennials will go on and have gone to college and will continue to go on to college than any other generation in the history of the United States. So they love to soak in knowledge, right? Mm-hmm. That's what they like. So it was maybe some older realtors feel that way. Like, well, that's why I get you. That's what I do with you. Or some high dollar realtors that are in such a high range. But how many of those people are you really going to work with, right? Your veteran realtor is going to be that sweet spot realtor. They don't suck, but they're not on every billboard up and down a Texas freeway.
Right. No, that's a lot of the agents that I'm getting now are veterans themselves.
Right.
And
you're seeing that more and more, and you're going to continue to see that.
Yes,
right?
A lot.
I myself literally am probably going to go get my license just to prove a point that I could do it better than somebody. But that's all right. But I probably will go get it, and that way we can refer you Texas loans too, man.
Well, there you go. Because the folks up in Oklahoma, and it's a smaller market, but that's where I'm from. I was born and raised there, and
all right, we won't tell anybody.
That's right. So they've asked me. They set these classes up on a quarterly basis with one of the title companies there,
Yeah.
He asked me to do it. I didn't even.
Right. Because you're branding, dude. See, that's
no
what happens.
one there
When
does
you
what we
your name
do.
out and you're the brand, you don't have to stalk them down. They stalk you down. I don't know if you remember this. I made a transition where I changed my phone number after like 20 years because I was just so fed up with Verizon told me pound sand. And so when I changed my phone number, I made one post on Facebook. Here's my new phone number. I didn't call any realtors. That they stalked me down for that. So
and that's what I'm starting to see a little more is, some of these agents, they know that what we do and where we come from. We don't treat veterans like a commodity.
No.
They get picked at a lot. And now that I'm not out there chasing all of their business and trying to be everything to everybody.
Right.
In the beginning, I took a couple steps back, but now that, we're getting into the busier summer months and things like that, man, my business has doubled in the last 2 months.
Dude, tell me how much more you like your job, honestly.
Oh, the 1,000-pound gorilla that used to be on my back because I had to go out and I felt like I had to, be the marketing guy and be this guy and everything. I don't have to do that anymore.
All right.
I had a realtor, and everybody knows, it's no secret I hate Zillow, but I had a realtor in my office that was referred to me by somebody else, and that's the first thing she led with.
Right.
And I shook her hand and said, okay, I'll find you somebody you can do business with.
Right. So she led with a left jab, and she got a roundhouse today.
Yeah. The meeting lasted about 10 minutes.
So, and that's awesome because when you are choosing to do this, you're making a cognitive choice to what I call posture and position yourself. You look, you know what? No disrespect, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor. We're not just a good fit for each other because I am truly doing this because I always do right by the veteran. Everything else will fall in line. Right. And that's where the faith comes in. This is the greatest group of people you will ever work with in your life. And they will appreciate and they will tell everyone about you. And listen, man, people call me an expert. You know how I feel about that. I'm not an expert. People start to say that in your area, you're starting to hear things like that from your realtors. Sure. You don't have to self-promote. When you are an expert or a specialist or the authority, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Your peers will say it about you. You don't have to say a word, right?
Right.
So my 2 cents to any realtor out there or any veteran customer out there or anyone, period. When you see someone says, hey, we're the expert in whatever category, a car expert, loan expert, food expert, and they're self-promoting that, just hang the freaking phone up because any real expert doesn't do that.
Well, and, we were talking about the videos, Fisher and I that was part of my biggest hang up of not doing them was I'm not big into self-promotion.
Right.
But when I started viewing it as these are educational and these are informative to people and the reach that we can have by doing it.
There is a tangible benefit.
He experienced that on Friday when I called him.
Yep.
A realtor that I talked to one time that lived here in Texas that now lives back in Michigan. And she reached out to me because she saw a video on LinkedIn, and that's how that works. That's the impact that can have on people's lives.
Now you're putting your videos out there like on your page, on LinkedIn. Have you started putting them in a YouTube channel?
I did. I created a YouTube channel with the help of my 14-year-old.
Amen.
I didn't know. I don't know how to do that, but I did it, and it's gained traction. Fortunately, the recruiters are coming out of it.
That's the millennial. It's gangster, right?
Yeah, and it's. But I have people reaching out to me from California, Florida, Michigan, and I had an offer the other day from a company in Florida to come teach their LOs, just because he was following this stuff.
Awesome.
And that's flattering, number one, and two, that's the reach that those can have.
Right.
But that's the content that you guys provide, and I'm just the mouthpiece that blurts it out. But
you're taking action, brother. I watch you and Marquita do it, and a lot of folks have I know Adam's doing it in California, but a lot of folks have only recorded maybe one video or two, and they haven't really uploaded it anywhere outside of their personal page one time. Right. You guys you're putting them out there to your email lists, you're putting them on LinkedIn, you're putting them on multiple pages, you're sharing them in groups, you're making multiple videos, you're teaching the classes, You're adding agents to groups. You're doing all the stuff that we keep talking about. And you don't always know exactly which one of those efforts is going to hit. But what you're doing, what I see you doing, is you're becoming a master because you're focusing so hard on producing quality, and by knowing exactly what you're talking about when you make those videos, that it becomes part of your DNA.
But what he's doing is doing it on a consistent basis. There's only a handful of our instructors, and we have approximately 97 instructors, and there's literally about 5 or 6 that, number one, have done more than 5 videos. Number two, do it on a regular basis, right? The regular basis ones that I see are from you, from Marquita, from GP Terrio. I see them from Adam Haney, Brandon Woolley, and Josh High has kind of moved up into that rank for me. And Blaze Bogies has had a couple, but I mean, other than that, that just drops off. Oh, I'm sorry. My girl's in Florida. Melanie and Patricia. I don't give them props. And they're newbies. I mean, literally newbies. These girls were LOAs less than 6 months ago. Those girls, I almost said broads. Those 2 broads, but those 2 girls have been in the business. That you think they've been in the business 25 years. The way
I would have never known that unless you said it.
Right. I mean, seriously, did they not look like a 20-year?
Yeah, because it's what people want is the real. I mean, you can stand there like a robot and just read a script, but they want the real. They want you to screw up. They want you to do things that you're not a professional. We don't do this. We don't record videos for a living. We're providing information, and what people have told me about the ones I do is that hey, this helped me, or I didn't know that, or all those things, or you sound like a redneck. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, look at me. I just yawned while you were talking at me.
So that's real. Why? Because we never sleep. That's why. But I would say this, dude. You really are seriously one of our star pupils and star examples. And, obviously, you're if we're going to competition, we're bringing our black belts. We're not going to bring our white belts. So of course we're going to have, who wants to hear from a white belt about how the troubles and trials and tribulations that they're hearing. But I think it's so important to see someone who's actually taken what they were taught. You were a white belt at one point too, right?
Oh yeah.
You made a cognitive decision to take action and do this, just like Marquita did the same thing, just like Adam, just like, GP, and just like Woolley, all these guys you guys all decided, damn it, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, for me, it's having a purpose driven,
right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have a purpose driven business model now. It's not just about loans. It's not just about money.
Right. And I think that's the difference between all of the people that are successful with us have really been doing it for the right reason, to truly help out veterans, because it will come back around tenfold. I'm telling you, every last one of these people that have gotten on board to be instructors because they were looking for, where's the money? Where's the money? Why? Well, I'm not going to go teach a class until there's CE out there. Where's the money? Right?
Right.
Why don't you really rethink why you're doing this?
Right.
And answer your own question. Why don't you have money coming in from this?
Well, like here in Texas, and you guys, they have to pay to come to the class.
Right.
Well, if they're showing up on their own volition without having to pay, they want to be there in my eyes.
Absolutely.
And, we're all got ADD, and about 45 minutes to an hour is about all I can keep them in their seat without, nodding off.
Right.
But after that, it creates the engagement after the fact.
So let me make a good point. And so I poked at GP and I love him to death. So now I'm going to praise GP. Okay. So he made a valid point when we did our debrief. Okay. 3 hours with CE, they'll sit here for 3 hours with 3 hours with no CE. Not so much. Right. So what you're doing is you're not going around all of Texas with a 3 hour class. You're doing that 45-minute to 1 hour class. So my suggestion to you is, if you are in a state where we have not been approved to do CE yet and you are an instructor, remember, number one, you paid to be an instructor to learn how to be in front of realtors and teach class, not for CE. The CE is the bonus. So number two, we have figured out that the 45-minute teaser class or the VA myth busting class is really awesome to get you going and get these people involved in your Facebook group. But creating your own alumni group is the key to everything, and continuing to take, like a shepherd, you take care of your flock. If you feed and nourish your flock, the flock produces food and clothing for your family. But you also have to protect your flock from predators, being other loan officers that are trying to poach your realtors. And what's the best way to protect your animals? Keep them close to home. What's the best way to keep them close to home? Feed them, right?
Yeah.
Come to food. So it really all comes back down to knowledge. And this is the argument that Fish and I constantly have. Like, these LOs really don't want the knowledge. They just want to know how to make. They don't care about the VA knowledge. They just want to figure out how to market and make the money real fast. Well, guess what? Those aren't the people.
They want leads. They want leads.
They want leads.
Jay, I want leads.
The few instructors that have really want the knowledge, you guys are the one that are reaping the benefits from all the realtors. The ones that wanted a quick marketing scheme and leads and how to figure out how to just do all this shit online without the work. Guess what? The only time success comes before work is in the dictionary, brother.
Yeah, I haven't run a single ad on Facebook since we've started this stuff.
Right.
One paid ad.
Well,
just teaching classes.
But he did one.
You got so many people out there competing.
Right.
And, heck, the best internet marketers in America are teaching other people to hack each other's ideas. Everybody's hacking. Let's be a hacker. So they're all borrowing and they're all running the same ads and copying each other left and right. And the price, Google and Facebook are businesses, so the price to advertise just goes up and up and up, and they keep getting richer. So you're trying to play on this field with these really smart techie guys.
Right.
If you're the educator and if you're the person that really knows, people can't take this agent database from you, and these agents are out there working on your behalf. They're doing the marketing, they're doing the searching to help you find the veterans, and you're not going at it alone. Right. So you've got a funnel of realtors funneling referrals to you, which are way easier to convert than internet leads.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're an ally to them. You're a commodity to them because they need it to survive. You're a resource to them. You're a life source. You're a source of income for them that is reliable and they can count on, which starts to be like a teacher or a coach or a parent, right?
Yeah.
You put yourself and you posture that as that mentor role when they look at you truly like you are above them, like they are, you're a parent, they're a child to them. You're a coach, they're a player, right? You're a teacher, they're a student. That respect, those three things, coach, teacher, and parent, happen to all be the same thing, by the way.
Right. No, I agree. And it's like I said, there's agents now that will call me and say, hey, how do I write this up? Or what does this mean? And they need to get that.
Right.
How do we explain that? Or how do I, I'll call them when there's new VA circulars that come out about, the one about the Federal Register and the comment period on the non-allowables. Hey, if you got, it's just talking points.
I'll give you a perfect example. Not even 30 minutes ago, I answered in alumni to Scott Shurick. I think I said his name right. I hope I did. Where he's up against USAA and they're giving some awesome rate. I don't know if you saw that post or not.
Yep.
Okay. And I love E-Wade to death, but his first knee-jerk reaction is swoop in and how to fix it, like beat him in a pricing war. Well, that's a millennial mindset. Let's beat him computer-wise. Let's beat him in pricing. Let's quote this. Let's quote that. My response was, hey, I'm more than willing to talk to that veteran for you and sit down and have a conversation with them of why he should use you, because here's the benefit of knowledge of working with us. You're moving across country. You need moving trucks to plan. You need someone who knows VA loans. You don't need a better rate and be asked rate for it in the meantime. Right. That's acceptable on Facebook as well too. But
I don't even know anymore.
All right. So and then at the end, you notice I say, look,
where's my mute button?
Doing business veteran to veteran will always win over civilian loan officer, like kind of to just rate shop. And I think I called it rate whoring is what you. I'm just saying like what I did against what was that. And
Jason, when you're talking to these vets, do you spend a lot of time telling them that you're a veteran, or I mean, is that part of your sales proposition that you?
No, I talk to them. You know, I don't really talk to them a whole lot about price, product. I get to know them a little bit. Ask them their story, whether they're active duty or retired, or separated, and I tell them a little bit about me and why I do it, and not just about the business. You know, I tell them that, you know, this is personal for me. I honor my father by doing this.
Right. And you're not a veteran yourself.
I'm not.
Correct.
And I said, look, I never served, and I'm not, you know.
So you don't have to be a veteran to be successful doing this.
No, and
you just
that's
have to have the heart of a servant to want to serve veterans.
So the reason I do it is because of that.
Yeah, you're like your father served, you didn't serve, but how many VA applications did you take this week?
I think so far this week I've taken 7.
7. That's great. That's awesome.
And what's the ratio purchase to refi?
All purchase.
Are those live? All live? Or?
Hey, were those from leads from a funnel or referrals, by the way?
Those are all from realtors.
That's great.
Got you, brother.
You're crushing me. I was excited because I got 3 VA live purchases in the last few days, and I'm like,
yeah, I call Saturday, and you know, guys moving back from South Korea, Germany, and you know, I just talk to them about me. I send them my Facebook link. Hey, do a little research on me. Here's what I'm about. Here's my endorsement page. You know, VA realtors that I do business with have endorsements on there, and then I just get to know them, man. And it's, you know, no disrespect to what USAA does or Navy Fed or all that, but you get my 16 years.
We're all trying to help veterans, and we didn't mean to. You know, if it sounded like we were harsh on them, we weren't at all. Look, my hat's off to them for serving veterans. Thank you for doing that. My whole point of my scenario was like, you know, it's not a rate war. It doesn't. If you're in it and you're trying to do a rate war, just stop right there because you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Well, and Fisher and I talked about this on Friday. He's this guy that got screwed around by this lender was trying to save a couple of bucks, and he put himself in a position to where now he's got to scramble around trying to find another lender that may or may not be able to actually get it done.
Right.
And, you know, my father taught us as kids that we were never to put the people around us in a position to lose.
Well, not only that,
I love that, man.
The one thing I didn't tell you about that guy is that that lender, let's say that his loan was going to die, and actually it's not. We fixed it, I think. But that lender will not actually deny him. So, you know, if he's trying to battle to get his earnest money back, they're telling him we're going to do application approved but not accepted, because he can't come up with the documents that they supposedly need. Well, he never was going to be able to come up with what they're asking for, so they should be able to deny him, and they're not. So they're putting him in a bad position with his earnest money deposit.
It's going to cost him money.
Which is crazy. It makes me angry. I'm not going to say the name of the lender here, but I mean, I want to scream at them like, you guys are refusing to help this guy get his earnest money back by doing this.
Right. But it happens more now than ever because we have the influx of.
Well, let me tell you why it happens. I'm going to nail it right on the head. It's like we say in class. No, the myth that it's hard in underwriting or lenders don't want B loans is a myth, because no lender wants to be the one to say we denied a veteran, and that's exact proof right there. They don't even want to say they're denied when they're denied.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Bad press.
Oh, it was the veteran's fault. He couldn't come up with the paperwork. Right. He never would have came up with it.
But we would have given him a loan, right?
Right. But that just goes to the point. And I talk about these scenarios in the class when I come across the underwriting section or something like that. And, you know, to reinforce to these people that it is so vitally important to know who you're doing business with. Right. Even if it's not me. I just make sure that you interview them,
especially on a purchase.
Right.
I get it. When you're doing a refi, then I mean, you do not need a loan officer to do a refi. Sorry, guys. That's why I'm surprised it took lenders like quick. I thought it took anybody long enough to figure that out. Cookie cutter refi, 800 score. They got 40% equity. They're looking for a lower rate. Why don't we let them pull their own credit, get their own debt? Why did we need a P&LO for that? You don't.
You don't.
You need to pay LOs to coach and orchestrate and quarterback purchase transactions. You will always need purchase loan officers. The rest of y'all, sorry.
Well, I got a phone call this morning from an agent because another lender here in Texas told him that the buyer couldn't pay for the termite. Well, in Texas, the veteran can pay for the termite.
The buyer can pay for the termite in every state, by the way. Just so you know. If you didn't know that.
I didn't.
He had about 4 years ago. right? As long as there's enough room in the origination,
Right.
Not a full 1% origination. Remember, if there's no origination from the lender, the veteran can pay up to
1%, right?
And that does include the termite. And
Okay.
again, if y'all would have went to the lending conference, you would have heard that. It was free. I'm pretty sure Missouri's not too far from Oklahoma, right?
No, it's not.
And either is Kansas.
No.
You were in Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas
I
City.
get
Okay.
confused. I don't know.
Gotcha. Yep.
It was kind of like Cedar Point and Disneyland combined.
In Arkansas.
What do you expect?
Yeah. What else are we going to do here today? So,
All right. Cool.
is there anything that we can do to help you out, brother?
No, you guys do enough, man. You provided the doc. I mean, all you can do is provide what you have done and provide the material.
Awesome.
In the direction. You can't make somebody do it.
I agree. 100%.
When I made the decision back in January to do that, it took a little time, and I've changed directions just a little bit here and there on how I do things, but man, I'm telling you, it's made a world of difference just in the reduced stress of how this business can be. I don't have to deal with that anymore because I know what I'm doing. My assistant is a Marine gunnery sergeant's wife.
Yeah.
I've got kind of the perfect storm as far as that. She is a bulldog when it comes to getting things.
Oh, I'm sure.
She understands the game. And so together, I mean, with that content.
He lays out the gunny shirts every morning like Clint Eastwood and Heartbreaker.
Oh, yeah, dude.
That's where we're going to start. You guys send me one of your company shirts. Like I got one from AJ. I got one from GP Terrio. Now everybody starts sending us their company logo shirts, and Fish and I will wear a new one every day. And if you can match us on the same day, we'll send you like a gift card or something.
You got Tim Pasquarello's shirt on.
Yeah,
today.
I got Ross Morgan. I was supporting Ross this morning, right?
Well, I told Fisher the other day I've taken Alex's approach where I wear short T-shirts to work every day.
Right.
And flip-flops. Yeah.
I know. They're sexy. Look at them.
That's way too
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. You're going to blind you. But I just, because dealing with veterans, they don't care what I look like. They just want to be taken care of.
That's right. They prefer you to be in comfortable clothing.
Yes, I'm not. They're not intimidated like that.
Right.
And you know what? I save a lot on dry cleaning bills, so I'm good.
Not only that, let me tell you something. If a veteran was to go meet with a loan officer in their bank in their suit and tie and a jacket, how do you think they immediately feel?
Oh, the guard goes up.
Right. Like they're like, okay, this guy thinks he's better than I, even though that guy might be the nicest guy in the world.
It's
right. Perception is reality. They're like, he's just not gonna get me or understand me, right?
Yeah. No, it's taking all those extra little steps and all the white noise away and all that is letting me focus more on teaching classes and being a veteran advocate in my community. So you saw the post yesterday that I put out there that every week I'm going to spotlight a veteran-owned business here locally and veteran-friendly businesses, whether it's an agent or otherwise. They may give veteran discounts or their, whatever their story is.
Just to recap, you obviously don't own your own business. You work for Movement One.
I do.
And they're veteran-owned. So I just want to make sure everybody will aware of that because 2 seconds ago we said you weren't a veteran, then it's veteran-owned. I want to make sure everyone understands.
Right. So what I want to, what I just want to make sure is that being an advocate has put me in a totally different category than most.
Right.
Because I'm not trying to take from them. I'm trying to give back.
That's awesome.
So
you're getting involved instead of helping.
Well, yeah, there's veteran meetups for veterans and veteran families and veteran friends here in my part of Texas all the time. They meet once a month.
Yep.
There's 30 or 40 of them that get together, just have beers, shoot the shit.
You mean there's young veteran networking groups? Oh my God.
Oh, these are
come from.
These are all old guys.
Right.
Some Vietnam vets, some Korean War guys, and to get together with those guys and listen to their stories and let them know what I do so I can try to help them.
Right. But let me tell you something. The reason young veterans don't do that is because they're busy with their kids, their jobs, and although they loved every once in a blue moon hang out with that, they want to be they're like you, man. They're 25 to 50 years old. They're trying to make money and network. And every minute that they spend, a millennial minute needs to be a minute that in their mind somehow is a chess move to move towards check or checkmate to make dollars.
Right.
So really, that's another thing we want to get going with you. So you really are doing a great job. So let's really kind of do even more with you to start your young veterans networking down there with the local
there's a lot.
and American Legions and stuff. And
yeah, there's a lot of that.
Join and get membership, because those chapters, VFWs, American Legions, they're closing their doors across the country, and that's a shame. We don't want to see that happen. We need to get the membership up, and the only way to pump blood back into those things is to get young veterans going through those doors. Yeah. And once a month, a networking night sponsored by the very first one, Jason Stier, I think is a great one. Right? Yeah. Bring tickets and appetizers. Next month, have a realtor. Next month, have an insurance agent. Pretty soon, you got the local chiropractor. Everybody down there doing it. So.
Well, Denton County actually has they call it a military veteran peer network. And once a month, they teach a class for free that anybody can go to who is either a veteran or veteran friendly or wants to get involved. And they teach you how to get involved here in Texas with doing those things for free.
Awesome.
Cool.
So there's all kinds of.
How many have you been to?
You just got to figure out where it is.
Yep. Cool. I dig it. Well, everybody, thanks for joining in.
Awesome, man.
We
love you, Stier.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks, man. If we can do anything to help you, let us know.
Absolutely.
All right, all three of us on the count of three are out boot camp style. Ready? 1, 2, 3. We are out boot camp style.